Hello and welcome to Real Watchers Movie Club. My name is Garrett.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are your hosts. Movie Club is a show where we pick a movie every week and discuss it just like a book club. On today's show, we are covering the comedy classic, The Great Dictator. Our thoughts and more coming up on Movie Club. Released in 1940, The Great Dictator was directed by Charlie Chaplin and stars Chaplin, Paulette Goddard, and Jack Oakie. Dictator Adenoid Hinkle tries to expand his empire, while a poor Jewish barber tries to avoid persecution from Hinkle's regime. It's currently 67 on IMDb's Top 250 and has a 4.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd and is ranked 122 on its Top 250. The film was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, including Best Original Score, Best Original Screenplay, Best Supporting Actor for Jack Oakie, Best Actor for Charlie Chaplin, and Best Picture. Before we dive into our thoughts, though, we do want to issue a spoiler warning for the film. We're going to be talking about everything that happens over the course of this movie, and we don't want to ruin it for you. So you should go ahead and go check it out, and then listen to us talk. I don't know. But stay tuned to the end of the show because next week is a very special episode. We are hitting a very important milestone with this show, and because of it, we're going to be watching an important movie. Alrighty, and we are here this week with my pick again, which is, of course, The Great Dictator. Picked this one because it's one of the Chaplin films that I had never seen the full thing. I had only ever seen the last 5-10 minutes with the speech that he gives. And that was kind of shared around the time of anytime something really bad was going on. And also, I had purchased it as a part of a Criterion sale haul, and I never actually got around to watching it. So, and it was on both 250 lists, so it was a good chance to get this one out of the way. Besides me maybe talking about it, had you ever heard about this movie before at all?
I actually have heard about this movie before, without your influence or seeing it in the Criterion channel or out and about it in the wilderness. But it was I've always had my eye on it because I've heard so many good things about it as well. There was some surprises that I do want to get into when we go into spoiler free, but I absolutely adored this movie. So
yeah. Me too. I think it's really hard to not adore a Charlie Chaplin film. So, definitely, definitely a little difficult for that. But I round up enjoying this far more than I thought I was going to. And I already knew that I was going to love it because it's Charlie Chaplin. But I really love the fact that this felt different from other Chaplin films. Obviously, this isn't one starring the Tramp, even though the barber does kind of look like the Tramp at points. It's not supposed to be the Tramp. It's a completely different character. So like it is free of that. And obviously the big difference is that we get a lot of him talking. And I think that's one of the biggest surprises of the film is because we're so used to him not talking in his films and saying so much even when he's not talking. So I really, really love that. And I think I want to talk about the big thing first for me, which is related to that. There's an irony to the fact that I would say the best film speech ever given was written and delivered by a guy known for doing silent films.
Yeah. Well, also wanted to talk about it as well. This is my first Charlie Chaplin film that I've heard him speak in. So maybe that was a lot of people's first time hearing Mr. Chaplin speak.
Not true, actually. We covered Modern Times a while ago.
Did he speak in that movie?
His first time ever speaking was in that movie, and he spoke gibberish.
He was singing, right?
Yes. He sung gibberish.
Well, stuff that I could understand, let's say that.
Yeah. Well, that was on purpose because he wanted the first time the Tramp spoke to be complete gibberish. So, but yeah, this is among the first times I've heard him speak intelligently,
Yeah, and
real
he
dialogue.
has a very pleasant voice as well, like very like I don't want to say I want to say noticeable. Like every time he speaks now in silent movies, I will have that in my mind, and I think that is fantastic because he does have a good voice. I mean, his performance in this movie, playing two characters, fantastic as well. But that surprise of him speaking for the first time, I was like, oh, we're gonna get this Charlie Chaplin, and I kind of knew he spoke because of the ending of this movie, but I didn't know he had so many great lines in this movie and great sequences.
Yeah, it's truly fantastic.
Mhm.
And he still has his physical comedy here, and the
Yeah.
film, but the film doesn't like oversell it. I think
Mm-mm.
like, and a lot of that comes from the bumbling nature of Hinkle, the stand-in for Hitler in this movie,
Yes,
who is a complete moron,
he
and,
is.
and it's by design. He's easily making fun of Adolf Hitler here,
Hmm.
even to the point where he's parodying his World War One
Speech.
service.
Yeah.
No,
Hmm.
service, because
Oh, service. Yeah.
Hitler served in World War One. But he is playing the barber in that sequence.
Hmm.
Um, but like this is also one of those few times where like, um, what was I going to say? The words spoke more than his actions,
Yeah.
and I think that, and I love how that's by his design. The
Hmm.
speech is so good.
It's it's it's
Um,
im- it's impactful because of the what happens during the movie as well. It's
yeah.
it's literally we're watching, I want to say like a World War II movie, but not with all the action, but all the stuff behind the scenes um that we didn't see, which was pretty cool. And it's like it's based off of his comedy and stuff like that, which I thought there would be a lot more comedy in this movie because of Mr. Chaplin, but it wasn't. It had its little spurts, but it didn't take away from the rest of the movie, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, and I would say the majority of the comedy doesn't come from his more tramp-like character. It comes
Hmm.
from the dictator and the fact that when he's speaking German, it's complete gibberish.
Oh, I love
Um,
it because I was like, when he was saying like Wiener Schnitzel and stuff like that, I'm like, that's not even German, but it sounds German, so it makes it even better.
yeah.
And but you do have some of the comedy with the barber as well, with when
Mhm.
he meets the girl and the girl hits the people. What are
Yeah.
they called? What are they called? The
Stormtroopers.
yeah, fucking great. First of all, stormtroopers, like.
That's what the German soldiers were called.
Oh, they were. Oh, sorry. I was referencing it to freaking Star Wars the entire time.
Star
So.
Wars got it from the Nazis.
Oh.
That the Empire
Okay.
is a Nazi organization.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, you learn something new every day, and today's a Thursday. So,
Well, there you go.
but that like that little comedy, but it didn't take away of what was
Mhm.
the bigger picture in this movie. But
Yeah.
I did like how he just threw it in there, and like I thought it was hilarious. And I'm like, okay, but then we get back to the real story at hand.
If anything, it adds to the profoundness
Hmm.
of what's being said, right? Like this is a direct addressing and challenging of the Nazi Party
Hmm.
and
Exactly.
what was going on in Europe. And this came out in 1940, so obviously, America wasn't involved then. We didn't want to get involved.
Hmm.
I
Which
mean,
that's controversial too. Like having this movie come out in the 1940s, like
oh, I
when
mean,
everything.
making fun of Hitler and riffing on Germany was very common in Hollywood.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
making fun of the Nazis, or it was becoming more, more and more popular to do
Hmm.
because obviously Hollywood at the in its early days was very much a Jewish led industry, and
Oh,
now at this time, like the concentration camps weren't a secret. Like
okay.
people knew about them. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't know about like Auschwitz and the death camps, but they knew about concentration. I might be wrong on that, but I do know that information was out there about concentration camps.
Gotcha.
So like they did know about it, and
Oh,
so
okay.
like to have them riffing on that, and like watching this, and after having watched some World War II documentaries recently, the treatment of the ghetto where they were writing like Jew and paint and
Hmm.
everything like that happened.
Yeah.
And actually, what's kind of, I want to say funny, but it's close to the truth, is In this film, they begin treating the Jewish people nicer because they have a Jewish banker who's very high up in one of their banks or something, and they need a loan so they can go to war with someone else. But to do that, they have to put on a good face, and they take down all this stuff, and they start acting more pleasant and whatever. That actually happened. So I don't know if you know this, but Nazi Germany hosted an Olympics.
Yeah.
And in order to maintain this image of prosperity, they had to take down all of the anti-Jewish stuff. They had to like erase all the paint. They were treated nicer, still like more like passive aggressive, but nicer openly while the Olympics were going on. And then as soon as the Olympics were over, they went back to business as usual. So that is actually very close to what happened. It's just obviously the reasoning is different in this movie, but scary close. Yeah. And it's a wonderful point of comparison to real history.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of this could be like a kind of facsimile about world history, because you get two different sides of the story, coming from a Jewish and coming from what's his name? I don't want to call him Hitler, but Hinkle, yeah, Hinkle, which is a great name, first of all, because it sounds so stupid. But and that's what I mean. It's supposed to be that way, but it's still, every time they said Hinkle, I'm like, I know exactly who they're talking about, and that's what made it even a little bit better too. But I did like the scenery and the cinematography in this movie as well. It was beautifully made. I loved all the building settings and how you can see from the ghetto to the, I don't want to call it a palace, but whenever the dictator is in his palace, it's very nice and clean. And then once you get to the ghetto, it's everybody's more raggedy. And the love interest for the barber, she's working and she has smudges all over her face, even those that they could probably take a shower or anything like that, but they want to show that it was a gritty place to live in, and I really enjoyed that. And then she gets cleaned up really well by the barber, which is really funny.
Yeah, and then obviously they end up kind of falling in love, as Chaplin's characters most usually do, but that's because, I mean, obviously you want to show the good guy being good, and by being good, he gets rewarded. Like, that's just a common thing.
You also want to see that even in, like, I can see this as in darker times, you can still find that one thing that kind of makes you thrive. And it was his barber shop before, and now it's this woman that he met, and then that's what he wants to pursue.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and that's, that even kind of goes into effect now, right? Like it's, like we think about what's going on in our world around us right now, and it is so dark and it is so cruel at times, and we have to find that one thing that kind of gets us through, and it's still relevant, and this is just as relevant to a particular individual as it is to Hitler back in its day. So I mean, I don't think this movie is ever going to not be funny and not be something that can be relatable to something in our everyday life. And I 100% agree with you. I just remembered on the cinematography and the set design and the camera work, it's way more complex here than in a film like Modern Times or City Lights. And I really appreciate that. It feels like not only is Chaplin distinguishing this from City Lights and other Tramp films, but he's like, it's almost like he's elevated it a little bit to try and feel a bit more. I mean, I don't think to be taken more seriously, because he was taken very seriously, unfortunately, until the Cold War happened. But like like this film is better looking. It is. It feels much bigger. Like the whole plane sequence, like that is like a crazy.
That's so good. So good. And it's like, again, it's what, 1940s this came out
in 1940, so probably filmed in 1939.
Yeah. How did they do that? Like, it's I bet people on the internet know like how they did that, but like me watching that, I was like, oh my gosh, that is fantastic. Like I was trying to figure it out. I was like, it's probably just upside down or something like that, the camera itself. But
Yeah.
I'm like,
No.
who?
So, well, because he has the pocket watch that comes out of his pocket. So
Yes, and
they're,
it
they're
floats upward.
legitimately they're probably they have a real plain fuselage probably, and they've
Hmm.
put it on like spindles, and they were able to turn it upside down, and they were probably like 2 feet above the ground or whatever, and strapped in, and they had the camera up close, so it looks like they're and upside down, so it looks like they're flying or
Hmm.
whatever. And then there's obviously a miniature when he falls out and his little guy is
Yeah,
dangling for a little bit, but like it speaks to the ingenuity and the level of fun that's in a movie that addresses how crazy this
well,
this
it's like
thing is.
to me watching this for the first time, I'm like, what? Who would even think about that? Like what? And it make it such a like an impact in my brain. Like me think us talking about it now, it's like he really thought to go like the extra mile on that, and it looks fantastic. And it like for the 1930s, 39 and 40s, some movies didn't think about that, and he just brought it to light, and it's marvelous. It's old time movie magic, and that's what I love about this movie.
Yeah, 100% old. It is that old time movie magic, but this time directed in a direction that is important to
Yeah.
lampoon the ultra powerful and evil.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Alrighty, so my this was my pick this week, so I'll go ahead and give my thoughts and score here first. I think that this film is far more elegant and well made than like the earlier Chaplin films. I haven't seen Chaplin's later stuff, so I can't really comment on that just yet. But I think this movie is both riotously funny and timeless in its takedown of fascism and of dictatorships, and unfortunately, it's still relevant today. But it also features one of the best film speeches ever put in
Mm-hmm.
film, and I think that it's a speech that everyone should take to heart if we're ever really going to truly attempt to move forward. I love this movie. I love the ending. It is a ray of hope in a dark, dark world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I so I ended up giving this movie a 97 out of 100 and
Nice.
a 4.5 stars out of 5. I think as of right now, I believe this is the highest rated
Mm-hmm.
Chaplin film that I've watched. It's up there with Modern Times,
Yeah.
but absolutely love this movie, and it's one that I will forever recommend to everyone.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for picking this one because it is a fantastic movie, especially with the stuff that is happening in current day. And but it really shows in this movie that even with a little bit of uh outside interferences, sometimes just finding that one thing that makes you want to go through life can help out a lot. And I absolutely love this movie. I thought Chaplin does a fantastic job of playing two different characters but making them so separate that you can distinctify which one is which. And it's just the cinematography back in the day is fantastic. The stunts are amazing in this movie. I mean, it's maybe a couple of stunts in there, but they're stunts nonetheless. Period. And it's just it's such an uplifting movie for, again, like you said, dark times when this was happening. And I want to see a more Charlie Chaplin talking because of the speech as well. I gave this movie a 98 out of 100. I don't know why it's not 100. That's the thing. It's I don't know what you would take out or put in to make it 100, but it's that good of a movie that, you know what, you might have to watch it again and again.
Yep, and it's one of those things that it could go up to 100 on your second watch. You may notice
Exactly.
more or see more or whatever it may be.
Hmm.
But that is going to bring us to an end here. So the question now falls to you. What do you think of The Great Dictator? Go ahead and leave those comments down in the comment section down below. But remember to be respectful of one another because you don't know if that person's going to overthrow you or not.
Hmm.
But next week, though, is our
Big one.
100th episode. It's a big one. And to make it special, we're going to be looking at for what for a long time has been considered one of, if not the best film, period,
Hmm.
ever made. We're going to be
Hmm.
watching Citizen Kane. And I have already seen this film and reviewed it as a part of the drive back, I believe. But Kevin has not seen it. So this is going to be first time reaction, which I cannot wait to share this movie with him.
Yeah.
But make sure to watch it before next week so you're not spoiled. Let me go ahead, because this is a big one. Let me go ahead and just double check and see where, in fact, it's streaming.
It is not streaming anywhere.
Currently, it is not streaming anywhere. Hey, is absolutely right, but you will have to rent it. But it is, I'll just go ahead and spoil a little bit right here. It's well worth it. So go ahead and rent it and make sure you see it for next week because we'd love to have you along for the ride. But that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Of course, this show goes live every Friday at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we have our live stream every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we go over movie news, reviews, and so much more. But thank you so much for watching with us. And until next time, make sure to keep your eyes on the screen.